Hi, my name is Mathilda. I'm a PhD student here at Center for Volatile Interactions. I'm within Jiao's group, and my PhD is part of a bigger peatland project where we're interested in carbon cycling and storage and emissions of different volatile forms of carbons from peatland. So I work on these peatland ecosystems, and I'm specifically interested in not only the greenhouse gas cycling and emissions from the system, but also the biogenic volatile organic compounds. And all of these compounds are expected to change under climate change because we see a change in hydrology and plant communities in these ecosystems. Peatlands are important ecosystems because they act as natural carbon storage and banks on our globe. They cover only around 3% of the global terrestrial area, but stores more than a third of all carbon that is stored in soils. So a huge bank. They act naturally as carbon sinks, but during these climate change, they can act as sources instead. So it's really important to understand the processes and mechanisms and underlying drivers of emissions of carbon in all kinds of forms from peatlands. We're interested in the emissions of volatile organic carbons, both in the field under natural conditions in a very complex system, but also under more controlled conditions where we can isolate the different drivers. So when we go to the field, we bring our dynamic flow chambers and we walk out and to our field site. I've been part of a study where we utilized a long-term plant removal experiment so we can compare different functional plant types. And also we have a lot of plots out there with different microsites. So we walk out there and we put down our chambers and ensure that it's an airtight system, and we flow the chambers with cleansed air, so we have a zero baseline for VOCs, and then we measure the emission rates. It could be for 20 minutes or half an hour, and we analyze the 10x tubes we use in our laboratory at home. When we go to the field, we also measure a lot of different environmental variables, so we can later do an analysis to see what drives the difference in emissions. I'm also doing a laboratory study, an experiment where we have collected some mesocosms from a natural and a restored field site, so we can compare and see the effects of restoration on a peatland ecosystem. So we go there and a lot of people, then we dig out these huge cores of peat that we bring home to our climate chambers where we can have more controlled conditions. And we have made a setup where we can also control the hydrology within the small ecosystems, so we can see the effect of change in water tables and yes, measure these emissions under very controlled conditions. What I enjoy most about my work is that it's varying a lot. I do a lot of different things. As I mentioned, I can go to the field and be outside, and I've just been at a conference where I traveled to another city and meet a lot of new people with good colleagues. And sometimes I'm in the lab and there's a lot of data processing, but I really like that it's varying a lot and you get to be very creative and plan a lot of different things, and sometimes you're struggling with designing an experiment, but you get to use your creativity to figure out how you can get the answers that you need to answer. And also we have a lot of nice colleagues here at Volt, and I really also like that in academia you don't have like a boss telling you what to do, but you have a lot of mentors, and it can both be your supervisors but also your colleagues and people that have more experience than you, and people are really eager to help out and give good advice. So it's a very nice community to work within. Thanks for watching the video, and feel free to reach out to us or see other videos produced by Volt.